With in-depth reports from BBC correspondents and interviews with the leading players. Daily current affairs on BBC World Now in Asia Today.
Hello again, welcome to Asia Today. I'm Alistair Yates, and in this programme, held in Guantanamo for 5 years, now Australian David Hicks is due before a US military commission. Divorce rates expected to rise in Japan. Find out why in a special report. Now, Japan's divorce rate is expected to rise this year. Changing pension rules and millions of baby boomers retiring are cited as possible factors. Here's Chris Hogg in Tokyo.
For these housewives, an afternoon off. For some, this class is a hobby. For others, it's an escape. For years, they've raised their families while their husbands have worked. But now, millions of those absentee spouses are about to retire, and for the first time, spend all day, every day, at home.
My husband was never around when he was younger. I raised my children without his help. He didn't really do anything. I can relate to those in my generation thinking about divorce, and I think my husband knows that. That's why he doesn't complain when I go off and do what I enjoy.
I'm so used to not having my husband around the house, I'm very worried about his retirement, to be honest. When it comes, I want to continue with my hobbies and what I enjoy doing. I hope my husband will take up hobbies on his own when he retires. If we get too involved with each other, it becomes too stressful for both of us. That's why we want to live our lives separately, but freely until the end.
Separate lives are common here. For the salaryman, long hours spent working and drinking can mean the family takes second place. But for a wife who's had enough, divorce has never been an easy option. Shame is one reason, money another. Kaoru, who's single again now after years of marriage, used a specialist divorce advisor to help her through.
It took me 3 years to decide whether to do it. The money problem was really important. How was I going to manage? I'd heard that divorced women end up really poor, working as a cleaner or a maid. Eventually, I got over all the other reasons that had been stopping me, but how to support myself after the divorce was a really big issue.
For decades, the number of marriages that fail here was increasing. Then, 4 years ago, a change. The trend reversed. Kaoru's advisor says it's obvious why.
There are definitely people waiting. In Japan, 75% of all divorces are initiated by women. Why are they waiting? Because if they're going to get divorced anyway, they want to wait so they get part of the pension. They've been waiting for 3 or 4 years, ever since the government announced it was changing the law.
So some husbands could be in for a shock. Many of them don't think they're doing anything wrong. They behave as their fathers did, as their boss does, as their colleagues do. And if their wives don't like it, well, tough luck. However, not all Japanese men are giving up on their marriage. Inside this restaurant are a group of husbands who want to do better. These men admit they used to be male chauvinists, but for them, the battle of the sexes is over. We do not win, we cannot win, we do not want to win, they chant. Tonight, they're swapping tips on how to save their marriages. The club has more than 1,200 members across Japan, and it's getting bigger.
一番大切なことは低視力をつけなければいけない。
The most important thing is to learn to be a good husband, not a chauvinist who orders his wife to prepare the bath, the meal, and the bed, but one who does what he's told. We've reached the stage where we need to have a big heart so we can solve any problems at home.
Some here say what they've been taught has saved their marriage.
Maybe before that, between I and my wife, the long distance, hard, maybe. But getting close. Now is get together and thinking the same direction. I and my wife also. But before that, separate direction. We look over there. Yeah. Now we come in, get together and thinking about our future life, each other.
And that report was from Chris Hogg in Tokyo on the changing laws in relation to divorce Japanese style. Well, that's all from Asia Today, but just a reminder, of course, that if you want more of all the details from Asia, have a look at bbcnews.com. Goodbye.
You're with World News Today from BBC World. I'm Jonathan Charles. Now, divorce rates in Japan are expected to rise this year. The increase is being fueled by two major changes. Next month, a new pension system will allow women to claim up to half of their husband's pension if they end their marriage. And millions of baby boomers are due to retire, forcing couples to spend more time together.
For these housewives, an afternoon off. But is it a hobby or an escape? They've raised their families while their husbands have worked, but now millions of those absentee spouses are about to retire. Women like Yoshiko Yamauchi will be spending all day, every day, with the men they married for the first time in their lives. I'm not used to that, she says. I'm very worried about his retirement. I'm hoping he'll take up his own hobbies so that I can continue to do what I enjoy alone. In Japan, when a wife decides enough is enough, divorce has never been an easy option. Shame is one reason, money another. Kaoru used a specialist divorce advisor to help her through.
It took me 3 years to decide whether to do it. How to support myself after the divorce was really a big issue. How was I going to manage?
For decades, the number of marriages that fail here was increasing. Then, 4 years ago, a change. The trend reversed. Kaoru's advisor says it's obvious why.
Definitely people are waiting. In Japan, 75% of all divorces are initiated by women. They've been waiting since the law change was first discussed, so they get part of the pension.
Separate lives are common here. For the salaryman, long hours spent working and drinking can mean the family takes second place. However, not all Japanese men are giving up on their marriage. Inside this restaurant are a group of husbands who want to do better. These men are swapping tips on how to save their marriages. For them, the battle of the sexes is over. We do not win. We cannot win. We do not want to win, they chant. The club has more than 1,200 members across Japan, and it's getting bigger. For them, the pain of divorce may yet be avoided, but others fear the change to the pensions law, well publicised here, will remind their wives an unhappy marriage no longer has to be endured. Chris Hogg, BBC News, Tokyo.
Well, on that happy note, that's all from World News Today. I'll be back for an hour of news and analysis at the same time tomorrow. The latest news from BBC World with Lisa Set in a few minutes. On the day that Sri Lankan Tamil Tiger rebels adopted a new tactic in their 24-year-long campaign against the government, carrying out an air raid for the first time. A light aircraft bombed the military side of Colombo Airport, killing 3 people. Thank you very much for bearing with me. My sore throat from me, Jonathan Charles, and the rest of the team. Goodbye.